Welcome to the Urban Herbalist YouTube channel. Today I want to discuss a few things that women have had issues with, and it seems to be getting more and more common, and that is having to do with our reproductive system, cramps, excessive bleeding, and fibroids. And it's becoming more and more commonplace that women are having problems with these things. And I'm going to offer some suggestions as far as herbal allies and nutrition to help deal with these issues. Now, as always, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical professional. If you are under a physician's care or taking prescription medications, please contact your healthcare provider before taking any type of herbal supplement. First thing I want to discuss is cramps. Cramps are pretty common. Most women have problems with them around their monthly cycle, and there are a few things that you can do to help combat these. Number one, you can apply heat. A heating pad, a hot water bottle, all work great for helping to relieve cramps. You can also, if you are not flowing too heavily, you can apply a ginger poultice, and that's as simple as taking a fresh ginger root and peeling it, chopping it, boiling it for a few minutes, and then removing the ginger pieces and putting them in a cloth. I have other videos on how to do poultices, and you would do the ginger the same way. And there are also some herbal allies that can help. Ginger tea is great for menstrual cramps. As long as you are not in the excessive flowing phase, you can have some ginger tea, and that will help relieve the cramping, some of the cramping of the muscles. Other options you have, cramp bark. Cramp bark, true to its name, is great for helping to relieve menstrual cramps. And for the cramp bark, you would take a tincture of it, and you would go, I'd say, anywhere from 10 to 20 drops, repeated every hour or two as needed. This isn't something you would take long term, just as long as the cramps are going on. Now, another herb that I've talked about frequently, and that is valerian. Valerian helps relax the muscles, and it does have a little bit of a stinky feet kind of smell about it, so you may want to take a tincture of it. And a tincture you can take anywhere from 15 to 30 drops, or you can have a cup of tea. Now, a word of caution with valerian, it may make you sleepy. So I wouldn't recommend taking this before you're going to go out and drive somewhere or go somewhere. It's something I would recommend. You can maybe take a few drops, but as far as the full dose, don't take the full dose if you're planning on going out somewhere. Another thing we have to consider when dealing with cramps is nutrition. What we'll want to do is increase the calcium intake 10 days before your menses. And the reason why you want to do that is the levels of calcium in your blood drops. And when your blood calcium drops, that's when you have muscle cramps, headaches, you get water retention, achiness, irritability, depression, insomnia. So 10 days before your period, before menses starts, you want to make sure you increase the calcium that you take in. And some natural ways to get calcium are sesame seeds, dark leafy greens, and nettle. I've discussed all of the vitamins and minerals that are in nettle in my Nourishing Herb Infusion video. Nettle is one of my favorites. It's very high in nutrients. So we have our herbal allies, cramp bark, valerian, and also make sure you increase your calcium intake 10 days before the start of your menses. Now let's talk about the excessive bleeding. Now, a lot of women have problems with this, especially younger women that are just getting, that time of the month, and women that are getting close to menopause. And there are some things you can do to help with the excessive bleeding. Now, the herbal allies I have are shepherd's purse, which you can take as a tea or a tincture. yarrow leaf and flower. It's very common herb, very easy to find. You can take a tincture of yarrow. Have many of you heard of witch hazel? Don't take the witch hazel that you find in the drugstore. You would make your own tincture with dried witch hazel bark. It's very astringent and will help relieve the flow. Yarrow is also very astringent as well. And another one I want to bring up, which is good for many female afflictions, is lady's mantle. Lady's mantle may take a little longer to work because it works on the hormones. It helps to balance your hormones. And it's a good idea. I've got a tincture of lady's mantle going right now. Lady's mantle is good for other female issues, as we will discuss in a moment. But I also want to talk about nutrition. If you are going through heavy flow, excessive bleeding, you'll want to make sure that you're getting an iron supplement. And some natural ways to get your iron are dandelion greens, cooked dandelion greens. You can get iron through molasses. You can also yellow dock root. And I also have in another video where I made a natural iron supplement, a syrup, using yellow dock root. So you want to make sure you're keeping your iron up, because when your body loses a lot of blood, iron is what brings the oxygen in. And if you are losing a lot of blood because it's that time of the month, you're going to find you're tired, you're fatigued. So you want to keep your iron up. And now on to the last topic I'm going to cover today, fibroids. A lot of women suffer from fibroids. It's very, very common. And there are a few things you can do to help ease fibroids naturally. One of the things you can do is exercise. Vigorous, regular exercise will help ease fibroids. Another thing you can do is a castor oil pack. You want to make sure you're using a good quality castor oil, organic if possible. And there are a number of different ways you can do the castor oil pack. It's probably easiest to do when you go to bed. What I did when I did a castor oil pack is I took a washcloth, and make sure it's a cloth you can part with, because once you get the castor oil on there, you're not going to want to reuse it. So you put the castor oil on, you place it in the area of your fibroids, and then I would take a towel and just put it over me and then have my pajama bottoms to keep it in place. You want to keep the castor oil pack in place for 30 minutes or longer. I did it when I went to bed. So whatever works out good for you. Another thing you can do for fibroids is increase whole grains. There is a constituent in whole grains called lignans, which help to reduce the size of fibroids. And some good sources of these lignans are flaxseed, rye, buckwheat, millet, oats, and barley. And by consuming these whole grains, the lignans will get into your body and help reduce the size of the fibroids. And now to my herbal allies, my good friends. There are a couple of different ones I've already mentioned. I've already mentioned the yarrow. Very common, very easy to take. It's pretty good tasting tea. Also, this is where the lady's mantle comes into play. Lady's mantle is a great herb for fibroids. And that's the tincture I have going of it. And another one I've not brought up yet, Vitex berry, also known as chaste berries. This is one that's probably best taken as a tincture. And when you're dealing with fibroids and a lot of these herbs, they have a cumulative effect. So you may not see results right away, but if you keep taking these over time, I'd say about a month or two, you should start seeing improvements. It can take a month or two, a cycle or two. But the great thing about the Vitex berries is it helps balance your hormones, and that's very important. And another reason why I like the dandelion greens and the yellow dock, they're also good for your liver, and it's important to keep your liver clean as well. as your liver is where your excess hormones deposit. And too much estrogen is what can cause a lot of these problems. So I want to thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment below. And I invite you to visit my website, urbanherbalist.com, where you can learn more about herbs. And also, I do have a shop there as well if you'd like to purchase any herbal products or candles. So thank you for watching, and we'll be back next time with more herbs for women's problems. Because, hey, we're women. Have a great day.